The American Express Platinum card is one of the most popular credit cards in existence, but there are actually multiple varieties of that card, and you should decide which is best for you. And today we're going to talk about the differences. My name is Sean. I'm here with my co-host.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherwin. Today on the Credit Card BS podcast, we're going to be discussing the Schwab Platinum, the Morgan Stanley Platinum, and the Vanilla Platinum, doing a little head-to-head comparison to tell you which flavor is the best for you. Now, one important thing to know about these cards is that they used to be considered completely separate products, so you could get a sign-up bonus for each one of the cards, and that was awesome. Sadly, however, last year, they implemented new family rules, and you're presumptively barred from any personal platinum bonus once you've had one, even if they're a different flavor. Personal and business platinums are still separate, so you could still get a bonus for each of them. But say you got a Morgan Stanley platinum and a bonus for it, you wouldn't be eligible for the vanilla one or the Schwab one, and vice versa. So let's begin with the vanilla platinum card, the one that's not associated with any bank. Uh, What's kind of the benefit of getting this one over the other ones? Are there any?
Yes, so there's not an on paper hard benefit actually. However, very importantly, this is the only real platinum variety that gets targeted higher sign-up bonuses. So the public sign-up offer, right? It's like whatever. It ranges, but it's not that great. But if you can get like a targeted offer, like an incognito link, you can get very high offers such as like 175,000 Amex points. And that's huge. That's a massive amount of points, and that's a big difference over I think the default is like 100K or something, or 80K. Am I right, Sherwin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, you're getting almost double the points basically. That's a huge difference. So that is a really big perk. However, other than that, there is not actually any on paper benefits over the other varieties.
Yes, and also if you're in two-player mode, racking up those referrals could be very useful, and you kind of need to be going for the vanilla platinum to be able to utilize that. So let's talk about one of the variations of this card, the Morgan Stanley card. One very huge perk, in my opinion, of this card is that your first authorized user, is free. Otherwise, it's usually $195 per authorized user. Authorized users get Centurion Lounge access, and that's kind of one of the big reasons why people add their family members to their Platinum card. And I think they also get their own party pass, if I'm not mistaken. Are there other benefits I've missed? Sean?
I mean, yeah, you just get usually with the NAAU, right? You're gonna get all the soft benefits, but none of the actual credit based benefits, right? So yeah, you'll have access to the lounges and stuff, but you're not gonna get the $200 airline credit or something like that. But still, that is a really valuable perk to be able to get a free authorized user, because normally it's very expensive to add platinum AUs.
Yes. Another perk is they have invest with rewards. So you can cash out membership rewards points for 1 cent per piece into a Morgan Stanley brokerage. Now you might be like, oh, 1 cent per point. What's the big deal? Normally when you redeem for statement credit, it's only 0.6 cents per point. So even though 1 cent per point is nothing to write home about, if you must cash out points, this is a much better option for you to do so. Sean, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I think I would not be cashing out points this way, but I think if you want a way to get cash, there's going to be a better way as well. We're going to talk about in a second. But it's definitely one of the better ways to cash out your Amex points. Another interesting benefit that they have is you get a $500 engagement bonus if you spend $100,000 in a year on the card. Now that's an extra essentially 0.5% if you're spending 100K. Now, what I think is interesting, obviously on a platinum card, you should not be doing general spending, right? That's a given, just given that there's better cards, better multipliers to have. So that now there's going to be people that do it anyways, and so for them, it's nice to get the extra 0.5. I do think there's an interesting play if you're really wealthy and you're spending a lot of money on flights or hotels, because of course you have the 5x multiplier on those. And so if you're doing that, maybe you're able, you're just booking a lot of hotels or something and living the dream. That's $500 essentially kind of back extra. So it's 5.5% back, and that helps offset the annual fee. I think it's going to be a very small subset of people that are going to be taking, basically be getting the full benefit of that perk. But I think it is interesting for the small few that that could earn that. I think that would be
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, $100,000 is so much money, and given that Platinum card only earns 1x points on general spend, I really don't see myself wanting to get there. Like, think of all the high perks, for example, you could get spending $100,000 on your business card, like the Elite Night credits you would get with that. The points are actually really valuable. The milestone rewards you rack up on the way. So I think it's a big opportunity cost to be dropping 100K onto a Platinum card in the first place. So that's kind of my thought about it. Another interesting perk sort of is a $695 annual engagement bonus. So $695 is not coincidentally the annual fee of the card. But you have to jump through quite a few hoops to get this. Let me kind of walk through them. So first, you have to open a Morgan Stanley Access investing account and maintain a $5,000 balance. It's sort of like a managed investing account. I think there are fees associated with this to keep in mind. Then you have to open a Morgan Stanley Platinum Cash Plus account, which again, you must sign up for this before opening the Platinum card, okay, to be able to be eligible for it. Now, this Platinum Cash Plus account comes with a $55 monthly fee. And if you were paying this fee, it would totally outweigh the annual engagement bonus you get from it, and it's not worth it. So you need to take the following steps to avoid this $55 monthly fee. First, you must have $5,000 in total monthly deposits and a $25,000 balance, average daily cash balance in that account. You must also have an additional eligible Morgan Stanley investment account, so which is why we need that Access investing account I talked about earlier to qualify for this monthly fee waiver. And you must engage in monthly Stanley online enrollment. Now, something very important to note: this $25,000 average daily cash balance is quite significant, especially so given that this account does not earn interest. So, Sean, is this worth? And before I get to the question of whether this is worth it or not, another thing to know: the $695 annual engagement bonus is literally a bonus of cash given to you. It's not a direct waiver of the annual fee, and this matters because that means it's taxable. So the $695, you'll get a 1099 for it. It's supposed to be taxable. So depending on your tax bracket and your state, realistically, you're not getting the full value of this. So is it worth it to jump through all of these hoops to get a taxable $695 engagement bonus? Sean?
So, in my opinion, this is not a nuanced answer. The answer is no. And it's just a simple math equation because in the current market, right, you can get about 4% for a high yield savings account. And so if you put 5K into a high yield savings account annually, that's going to be $1,000. So you're actually just better off doing that, like purely in terms of the amount of money you're making than doing this. Now, of course, if the market changes and the savings, high yield savings rates drop to basically nothing, then you could make an argument to this, right? That this would be good. But in the current market, with the rates that we're seeing in high yield savings accounts and how those, also factoring in the fact that those accounts are essentially no hoops to jump through, you just leave the money in there. Just do that instead, because you'll actually, even just for this annual fee, you'll come out ahead with more money not opening this account and just putting in a high yield savings.
Yeah, I agree. I think the main draw of the Morgan Stanley card is the first free authorized user. This engagement bonus, it's nice that they offer this, but the opportunity cost is much too significant, at least in the current market. Let's talk about the Schwab Platinum card. This is another option. One interesting perk you get with this card is that you receive an annual statement credit based on qualifying Schwab holdings. So this, fortunately, includes investments. So at $250K, you get $100 statement credit. At $1 million, you get $200 statement credit, and at $10 million, you get $1,000 statement credit. So if you already have a lot of Schwab holdings in here, this is very nice. It could decrease your fee effectively. The more interesting perk, however, is the invest with rewards perk with Schwab. Sean, you want to talk about this and how it differs from the Morgan Stanley one?
Yeah, so the Morgan Stanley one is a 1% per point cash out rate, and I don't believe there's a cap on that. This one is 1.1 cents per point, but there's a cap of 1 million points per year, so $11,000. This actually used to be 1.25 cents per point, and it used to be much better, but now it's 1.1. This is essentially the best way to redeem Amex points if you are not going to transfer to travel partners. This is really kind of the only acceptable way to redeem Amex points in my mind if you're not transferring to the partners. Obviously, it's not the best. You can get better value by transferring to travel partners for sure. However, let's say you just have an insane amount of Amex points, or for whatever reason, this is not, this is definitely the best way to cash out your Amex points. Like, by far, not even close.
Yeah, and I think this is most useful for like business owners, for example, that are raking in tons of points from high spend or high cash flow. Realistically, if you're getting like millions of points a year, you're not going to be able to use all of that for travel. There's just no way. So, at a certain point, once you hit a high balance, I think it can make sense to start cashing them out. And, with the maximum 1 million points per year limit, that makes it less good if you just have a ton of points sitting around. But, it's still arguably the best way to do so.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Cool. So, which one of these flavors of the Amex Platinum appeals most to you? Please leave a comment down below with your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. It greatly helps support us. Also, what would greatly help support us is if you use one of our links down in the description below if you're interested in applying for any credit card. You have no idea how much that helps us out. And Sean, why don't you plug our Discord?
Yes, if you want to connect with an elite group of award travelers and credit card enthusiasts entirely for free, check out the Travel Lane Discord group at the link in the description. You'll learn a ton, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.